The following is a project of our nonprofit newsroom. Support Midcoast Morning and local community-centered journalism today by signing up to be a monthly sustaining donor at chly.ca/donate. It doesn't take much money to support local news.
Hello and welcome to Midcoast Morning. I'm Joe Pugh. Thousands are expected to gather Saturday at a comic convention in Nanaimo that's paying tribute to the man who founded it. Curious Comicon is on tomorrow at Country Club Mall. It got started in 2016 when the Nanaimo branch of Curious Comics took Free Comic Book Day, an annual North America-wide event, and built a free local comic convention around it, with guest artists, a cosplay contest, and a number of other activities. Curious Comicon founder Mike Drummond died earlier this year. I spoke with some of the organizers who have decided to keep the convention going in his memory.
Hello, my name is Ariel Bonser, and I'm one of the members of the board of Curious Comicon Nanaimo.
Yes, you are. My name is Rob McKee. I'm as well a member of the board and the manager of Curious Comics.
And you're getting ready this Saturday to welcome folks in Nanaimo and from all over to Curious Comicon. Can you tell me just how big of a deal is this event in terms of the size, the number of people you're expecting to come?
It's pretty big for Nanaimo. Like we have, I think we don't have official numbers, but we always average, say, around 4,000 people to the show, which is quite a few for a smaller con. The show itself is a big boost to the city. We feel like we all the money we raise goes towards charities. And so that's also a huge thing for the city. And it's free. So anyone's welcome, all ages, all doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. You're more than welcome to be here. And there's free stuff to give away. So the goal, that Mike's goal was always to make this con for everybody. He wanted it to be something that anyone could show up to. Didn't matter how much money you had. Didn't matter your status. You could just come here, get some free stuff and have a good time.
And you mentioned Mike there, Mike Drummond, the founder of Curious Comicon, who passed away this year. What would you like folks to know about Mike?
So Mike, he was one of my best friends. Me and Mike worked together for a very long time. He had one of the biggest hearts you could imagine. He was, I might tear up here a little bit. Oh my goodness! But he had, he's the type of person that he'd give you the shirt off his back if you asked for it. He wouldn't ask you why, but he'd be more than happy to give it to you if you needed something. He's always there for you, always there for anybody. I mean, he loved the city, loved the community, loved comics, obviously. He had a huge heart. He just a big personality, like probably one of the biggest personalities I've ever met in my life. And just such an amazing guy. He's, sorely missed. But he did so much for the community, and for me it's just amazing to see the people just coming out and just relaying this, how much Mike meant to them, and how he touched everybody. It seems like everybody that walks through the door has a story to tell about Mike, and that's it's an amazing thing, and I wish I had that.
And you've been working to put together this show in Mike's memory. The whole thing is dedicated to him. I imagine it's been a different experience organizing for the first time. What are 4,000 people going to be doing here at the Country Club Mall on a Saturday afternoon?
Well, we have lots planned. We have a cosplay contest. We have a silent auction with many pieces donated by the different vendors and different artists. We have quite a bit of sponsorship from the community. it's a way for us to give back to the community. And so all the money goes to the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society. Each year we have a different charity. We've had the Boys and Girls Club and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So this year we're doing Nanaimo Brain Injury Society. We'll have lots of free comic books.
The cosplay contest, obviously. Yeah. So I think there's going to be a couple categories, one for kids under 12, I believe. And then there's going to be a category for everyone above that. There's going to be a podcast group. So one is going to be here is Crit and Fumble, and I believe they're going to be doing like a live podcast.
They're doing
the show.
They're doing D&D drop-in, right?
Yeah.
So if you've never played D&D before, you can sit in the hot seat and play a character and learn about the game before going in and spending so much money on all those books and everything. And you get to try it out with people who may also have never played before but have a lot of interest in this. So
a chance to try out Dungeons and Dragons. You were talking there about the costume contest, the cosplay contest as well. I want to zoom in on that. Maybe first of all, what is cosplay for folks who don't know, and what makes a good cosplay? If I'm coming out on Saturday with an eye towards, I want to win, what do I need to keep in mind?
So basically what it is you pick your favorite character, be it from comic books, movies, and whatnot, and you create this costume that represents them, to either the T of the character in the comic book, from the tip of their hair down to the laces on their boots kind of thing. And then there are other people who just do like a version of their favorite character where it's more relaxed and they have like maybe the makeup and the hair and everything, but something a little more casual in the outfit. There's a lot of people that will stay up nights sewing to make sure that the project is done. There's glue guns involved and glitter and this thing called Warbla that you use a heat gun to shape and form into possibly armor or whatever, even props, that kind of thing. So it's really in how you want to portray that character. Some people go from movie level costumes all the way to just some thrift store items that look very similar. So
is there, I don't know, I guess maybe it comes down to who the specific judge is, but is there maybe a tilt towards something more homemade that it looks like someone stayed up all night glue gunning?
Well, yes, we do have some... We do have empathy for the people that stay up late at night crafting their amazing outfit. But there it is. We have the categories. So you have the children 12 and under, and then there's the teen 13 to 17. The mature, which is 18 and older, so adults involved. Professional, which is usually adult.
Like higher end.
Yeah, higher end.
What does that mean? What's the distinction between kind of professional and normal?
When you can't tell the difference between it being in a movie and it being homemade.
As an example, the Batman of Victoria, he will be here. So he's just going to be wandering around and for photo ops and stuff like that. But his costume looks like it came right out of the movie set. Like it's so well done. You couldn't tell his outfit between what you see in the movie. Is just that well done. And of course, then you got the plastic mask that other people use. As maybe not as fancy and well done, but just as good. And as long as you like what you're doing, that's all that really matters.
Definitely.
Can you tell me maybe a little bit about the comic community, or kind of the broader swath of activities that Comicon entails, the community around that exists here in Nanaimo? What's it like? What's the kind of size of it, and what other things happen throughout the year?
So I would say it's like geek culture in general. So you have we have things here like the Lego is it Lego Society? Lego?
Mylug, the Mid-Island Lego group, something.
So it's a bunch of people that get together and make elaborate scenes out of Lego and spend their time in this as their hobby. And then there are people that play Magic the Gathering, and they come out every Friday night and might play together. So there's quite a lot of diversity in the geek culture in Nanaimo. You have, there's...
it's everything from Pokemon lovers to comic lovers,
yes.
anime. And the greatest thing about the con is you get all these genres and these people together, and you're all on the same page, where maybe you might feel a little more isolated when you're, playing Magic by yourself and your friends, but you come to a Comic-Con, it's like you're with people of your same ilk, and everybody, can get along, and everybody loves what everyone does, and it's just a big, huge community.
It's a safe space to express yourself and your love of the geek culture. Yeah.
And it's no coincidence that this is falling on the first Saturday of May. This year, maybe some extra significance because it's going to be May the 4th. Can you tell me what's so important about that day on the calendar in general?
So, the first Saturday in May has always been Free Comic Book Day. Correct, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah.
For 23 years, I believe.
Yeah. So basically we wanted to really bring that to the forefront and have people know that Free Comic Book Day is here. We're here to get you to just try and read some. You might be interested in it. And there are different previews for each issues that are coming out. And
Free Comic Book Day is it's an international day, so it's like comic book stores all across the world do it on the first Saturday in May, and like I said, it's just been this huge thing for years and years. And then we took our Free Comic Book Day, and it started off as a very small little show with just maybe a couple vendors, and then Mike had the vision to turn it into an actual full-blown Comic-Con, and that's kind of how that all came to be.
And he wanted to make the Comic-Con like they used to be, where it was really accessible to the community, and it was free. Comic book conventions way back in the day may have been in a large gymnasium kind of thing, and he wanted to bring that feeling back of acceptance and community in a small town kind of thing. So,
and that's I have been to Free Comic Book Day in a number of other cities, and it's just kind of, you go to the comic store and there are a few stacks of comics, maybe a big lineup to get them, and you get your free comics and you kind of go home. Like, how unique is this event in Nanaimo that, for free, you go, it's Free Comic Book Day, and not just you get to get your free comics, but there's this whole big convention.
Something that is really cool about that is that having this convention brings a lot of families and people who wouldn't normally come to a Free Comic Book Day, and we get so much feedback from parents who are like, wow, this really promotes literacy with my children, hard time getting them to read, and here we came to this place and wow, you had free comics, and now they're just all they want to do is read, and that's really awesome.
Sorry, my voice got high there.
All good. And I know there are also going to be a number of people working professionally in the industry attending as guests. Can you tell me a little bit about who's going to be here in town?
Well, we have the artist John Gallagher coming, and he's well known for...
He worked on the Flash TV show, a lot of the CW superhero shows they did, like Flash, Green Arrow. I can't even remember the other ones. This feels like it's so long ago. He did a lot of comic book covers in the industry, and he's such a big, well-known name.
Worked in the video game industry as well.
Yeah, he started at BioWare, I believe. Yeah,
who folks might remember the Knights of the Old Republic kind of Star Wars game.
He worked on that one. Yeah.
We also have Hugh Rookwood, who is a comic book artist and who does really large posters, which are really quite amazing, actually. A lot of detail and work into those. We have lots of local artists, which will be really awesome as well. Well, I was going to say we don't have a celebrity this year, but I didn't want to disappoint anybody.
I'm kind of a celebrity.
Well, actually, the celebrity this year is Mike.
Yeah.
It's about Mike and honoring him and what he did for the community and how much he meant to the geek community.
This is something that was put together quite quickly. after Mike's passing, which was pretty sudden. There wasn't a lot of time, and Mike's wife was really, really, really interested in keeping this going, and she's been the anchor of it.
Yeah,
like
she's
the president. She's the president of the society right now. She took over for Mike, and she's got us all together and keeping it going.
Is there anything else you think it's important to bring to this conversation today?
For me personally, I just want to maybe add on to what Roxanne was, the higher pitched voice there that everyone heard. She's also a member of the board, but I just really wanted to make sure that this show is all for Mike. Like, we wanted to honor him. This was his baby. He loved it. He was really proud of it. And, I just want to make sure that we do him proud, and I know that he's smiling down on us and thinking, hey, good job, guys. Thumbs up. That's the most important thing.
He's probably up there panicking.
More than likely. Yeah.
You would be, yes, I want to make sure that everybody really enjoys themselves, remembers that Mike was the one that started this, and that we can, gather together for the community and give out some awesome free comic books and start some new readers. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Ari, Rob, Roxanne, thank you all so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Ariel Bosner, Rob McKee, and Roxanne Hartwick are organizers of Curious Comicon, taking place Saturday, May 4th from 10 to 5 at Nanaimo's Country Club Mall.
Midcoast Morning is made possible by the Community Radio Fund of Canada's Radio Meters program and listeners like you. Support Midcoast Morning and CHLY's nonprofit newsroom today by becoming a sustaining donor at chly.ca/donate. Local news can't survive without your support. Another way to help us out is to share this show with your friends and tell them why they should support us. Finally, if you're listening to the podcast edition of Midcoast Morning, go and give us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast feed you use. It helps people find us.
We're talking Curious Comicon on today's program. The Nanaimo convention is expected to welcome thousands to the Country Club Mall this Saturday. One of the guest artists in attendance will be Brad Young. The Vancouver Island-based author penned the alternative comic strip Stay As You Are, which appeared in a number of publications, including Adbusters and Geist magazine, back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, my name is Brad Young. I'm currently living in Victoria. I used to live in Nanaimo. I'm going to be at the Nanaimo Curious Comic Con this Saturday, May 4th, from 10 to 5 at Country Club Center in Nanaimo. I used to do a comic strip back in the 90s called Stay As You Are. It was a Generation X themed comic strip. Ran from about 96 to 2002. It was mostly two guys talking. Then I quit comics for about 20 years. Didn't do anything creative. Well, a few things here and there. I eventually did write my novel. And then I got invited back to a convention by some people in Vancouver who remembered me as being, part of the Vancouver scene. And they invited me to a convention, and because I also released a compilation of my old comic strips in book form. And I got invited back to the convention. I was surrounded by all these creative people again and comics, and I just I kept gushing about it to my ex-wife when I got back. And it's like, she said, you should go back next year and you should draw something, because I just wouldn't shut up about it. So I thought about it for like 10 seconds, and I thought, I know what to do. And that's why I've got a new comic book series that's come out.
What is it like being a kind of a guest with a bio at a convention?
Well, I've done it before, like 20 years ago, a lot. And then taking that break was kind of like, I didn't miss it, but then until I did miss it. When I went back, it's like, oh, I missed this. I didn't realize it. So coming back to it is fun. I don't have an audience anymore. They're all grown up and disappeared. But I'm, meeting some of the old people that I used to chum around with, and some old fans, and making new ones. And it's exciting again. Like back then, it was the fun of publishing your own stuff and getting out there and getting feedback. And now I've fallen in love with it again after a 20-year break.
What is it about the atmosphere specifically of a convention that you think has kind of sucked you back in?
Oh, it's just the energy of the room. You get all these people, all these creative people all together, and you start talking to your neighbor, your table mates, whatever, and your fans, and you're you're surrounded by this love of comics and creativity that you don't necessarily get in your everyday life. Like I've talked about my work sometimes with coworkers, and they just don't get it at all. They say, good for you kind of thing, but they don't really get it. It's when you network with people and socialize with other creators, other comic artists and writers and illustrators that you kind of get energized. That's how I feel. Like I did a convention just a while ago, and I was like, I came out of this, I had all these ideas and I jotted them down, and I'm anxious to get back to work on it. But I got all these conventions coming up, so I have to put a little on hold, but not for 20 years this time. Definitely not.
And you've got a fresh new comic kind of hot off the presses just in time for this Comic-Con. Can you tell me maybe a little bit first for folks about the background of the character Ninja Bear?
Well, back in the day, in the 90s, I used to do, in the comic strip Stay As You Are was very intellectual. Well, not very. It was smarter than your average comic, I guess you could say. It was basically two guys talking about society and trends and the things that came up. And I played around with it a bit. But to make fun of myself, I created the character of Ninja Bear. And Ninja Bear was supposed to be what I secretly wanted to do. It was bloody and violent and action-filled and kind of mindless. But I couldn't just do that. So I had myself and my subconscious in the strip arguing about whether or not this is what I actually wanted to do. So I became quite popular because it was the best of both worlds. It was the mindless action and the blood and all that, plus some sort of intelligent discourse about the nature of creativity, what an artist owes to his audience or himself, and then the concept of selling out, and should you appeal to the masses or follow your own instincts and what you want to do. So when I killed off the Stay As You Are strip, I killed off Ninja Bear as well. But then when I thought to do something new, I thought, I'm bringing back Ninja Bear.
Is there anything you'd say maybe to someone who's younger, who likes creating art, who is interested in the world of comics, maybe feels like they have something to say, who is living on Vancouver Island, about how you go about doing it?
Well, first off, yeah, go for it. I mean, more creativity is always good. But I'm kind of thrashing around myself. Like, I don't really know where to go. Like, these conventions are great because you get all these like-minded people. Like, I just met a whole bunch of people at another convention in Victoria that they have a group that gets together, and they have an anthology that they all contribute to raise awareness.
In a way, is it really, you feel, a big part of being able to take that step and go from feeling like you have something to say to saying it and sharing it with people? A big part of being able to do that is finding some kind of a community where you live?
That can be a huge part of it. Because if you're the only person in your town publishing or something or drawing something and never showing anybody, well, no one's ever going to see it. I mean, just putting it online, that could be big. Like it was such a, when I started doing comics, it was like a huge deal to actually show somebody. Like for me, because I was nervous about it. I didn't know if it was any good, but I got, good feedback, and, people seemed to like it. And so that encouraged me to do more. So, it kind of depends on the individual. If that's how you are, if you're shy about your work, well, you got to get over that.
Then maybe does another part of it come back to this idea you were talking about earlier of, I show people I work with my work and they don't get it. And then I go to a con and suddenly it's like everyone gets it and I can talk with anyone there about this. Is that kind of what the real, not to sound too cheesy, but the meaning, the importance, the value of a convention like Curious Comic-Con is in creating a space for thousands of people to come and do that in Nanaimo and find people they can share something with that aren't, their coworkers who don't get it?
Yeah, absolutely. Community of like-minded people is so important, I think, because like showing to my coworkers who don't read comics, don't know anything about comics, don't care about comics, they'll say, "Oh, that's nice," and that's basically it. Or they don't understand. Like I used to, I told someone once that I was a cartoonist. "Oh, you want to be Walt Disney? Hey, Brad wants to be Walt Disney." No, that's not what I want at all. They just don't know enough and don't care. But then you get a convention where everyone's into comics. It's like, it's kind of the perfect place to unveil something, because you're in ordinary life, you got to find the people who actually like comics and then trust them and show them and hope for decent feedback. But you go to a convention, these are people who are ready for you. They want to see comics. They're excited and want to see anything new and what you've done and anything creative. So it's a good place to unveil your stuff.
Is there anything else you think it's important or you'd want to share with folks ahead of the convention in Nanaimo?
It's Saturday, May 4th, Star Wars Day. It's also Free Comic Book Day. So there's free comics to be had. You can go for free and get comics for free and talk to creators for free. Yeah, it's a great event. I highly encourage you, if you're even just curious, if you don't know comics, come on down. I'm sure there's going to be a wide variety from, superhero mainstream stuff to weird little niche comics like mine to who knows what else is out there. I don't know what the kids are doing these days.
Well, Brad Young, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and enjoy your visit back to your old stomping grounds, I guess.
Yeah. I'm hoping I've got some old friends are going to be dropping by, so there's that. And I get to meet new people again. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Brad Young is the author of the Stay As You Are comic series. He's one of the guests at this year's Curious Comicon, happening Saturday in Nanaimo from 10 to 5 at the Country Club Mall. That's our show for the day. Thank you for joining me. I'm Joe Pugh, host and producer of Midcoast Morning. Jesse Woodward is our executive producer, and Arby Frew is our technical advisor. You can sign up for CHLY's newsletter at chly.ca/subscribe for updates from our nonprofit newsroom and more. Our theme song is First One by local Nanaimo band Waste Management. If you have a story you'd like us to cover, email us at news@chly.ca. That's all for now. I'll talk to you on another Midcoast Morning.
Midcoast Morning would not be possible without the funding of the Community Radio Fund of Canada's Radio Meters program and listeners like you. Midcoast Morning is a project of CHLY's nonprofit newsroom. Support nonprofit journalism in Nanaimo and on the Salish Sea today by becoming a monthly sustaining donor at $5 or more per month. Support the program at chly.ca/donate. If you're already a supporter, record a voice memo telling others where you're listening from and why they too should support our work. After you're done, you can email it to us. Also, share the podcast with your friends. While Meta is blocking Canadian users from sharing news content on their Facebook feeds, you can still share our podcast directly with your friends via Facebook or Instagram Messenger. Finally, this program acknowledges and gives thanks to the Nanaimo First Nation as we broadcast and podcast from their traditional territory. Thanks for listening.